Okay, next one. As we roll along here at so an hour, man, I owe you dinner when the Kings come to town next time.
No
Big
worries.
time.
Yeah, so like for me, when guys are coming in the zone, I definitely like to count the jerseys. Especially when it's a D-man leading the rush, and in that scenario, it was kind of almost a four-man rush, and he broke through. So kind of the first read was respecting the shooter, whether he was going to cut across and shoot. And then once things were established in the zone, a lot of what guys like to do is kind of when the shot's coming through is to skate through the sight line of the goalie. And that's what Pacioretty does here. And I think it's more so a timing thing and to make sure that you're not completely in the back of the net, when you're shifting down on kind of reading that tip.
Now you got everyone behind the net. A lot of guys would be down in this situation, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think you got to think 80% of the league would. That's just the trend right now, and I think I'm trying to go against that trend a little bit this year. There's definitely scenarios where I am down, but this is a scenario where I don't think anyone. I personally, my game isn't to be down, and there's no reason. There's no one in front of the net. Like it's more just understanding your surroundings and who's on the ice and where they are. And to be honest, I think my position right there is just sort of the way I've been playing all year is stay on my feet. I knew there was another threat there, but generally, I sort of, as you can tell, I'm sort of creeping into that RV or the old VH, thinking that he might just turn and fire at short side. But then when I realized that he was sort of just going to throw it far side, I still had the ability to get my right leg out there. So I think that's trying to stay as patient as I can on the post and on my feet, even on in tight plays, changes change my game a lot. I think it gives you another chance at plays. If I was down there, I already would have committed to the.
I actually remember that play. So when you got that puck from the board, I kind of wanted to wait on my feet and see, if he was going to get pressure or not. And from that
Stack that
point,
up a
then
bit.
from that point, then I see um, my D's going to, hopefully take the back door, and then I can be one-on-one with Domi. Or, worst case scenario would be the guy driving on that circle there, which the angle is not as great, as the one timer right in the slot. So, but I think as a goalie, you just gotta, you know where your options are. Obviously, you got to take a look in front and see where everyone is, but you know it's got to be bang bang play. If it doesn't happen right away, um, then most of the time they'll be covered. Like on that play, if it would have been a quick pass from the corner, maybe he gets a chance to actually get a shot to the net. But from that point, it's more just focus on Domi and seal the bottoms. Get my head down and if he beats me from there, it's on me pretty much.
On Domi, yeah. You can really see how you're keeping your head over the puck as he
Yeah,
approaches here too.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference from reverse VH to the VH, where when I started in the league, that was that's the only thing I knew, and most goalies were doing. And I found that when I got better at the reverse VH, that your head is right on the play, right on the puck, instead of maybe being a little bit more upright from the VH.
you've got to be pretty locked on Domi as he's coming out of the corner because you can see he's got a lane to the net.
Yeah, yeah.
You able to
So
feel how tight Kovalchuk is there? Little peripheral.
yeah, yeah, I can see him, which is pretty much not even a movement unless, then he's starting to like coming in now that, maybe you'll go on a butterfly. But where he was when he had that lane before, um, it's a really, really hard push to actually come off forward on a reverse, I find.
Getting a
So
little angle
sometimes
and a little depth, you mean?
yeah, like to actually gain depth on him. So sometimes I'd rather just stay there and be square and make him make it really unbelievable shot, top corner, you know.
Which is why you say that if he gets the puck here, he's probably in a better spot because he can
Yeah.
take that shot as opposed to by the time he gets it.
Yeah, yeah, as soon as yeah, exactly. He doesn't have much after because he's on his back end but if he gets it to that dot, he actually can probably get a way better shot than when he's in because as soon as guy gets really tight like this to the goalie, you seal the bottom and like I said, at some point you do your job and if they shoot from there and they score and they beat you top corner. But for me, the ones I'm mad at is the one that goes through you, right? Because
For sure.
from that angle, the puck doesn't really have um, much angle to go through the net if you're actually tight everywhere and your hands are forward, your head and everything. Then it's if you're square, it's gonna hit you. Was it a 2-2 game or 3-2 for us? I can't remember the score, but yeah, it's just one of those that almost what I said is you don't want to make, but sometimes you kind of have to sprawl and it was one of those where I knew he was there, but at the same time I kind of trusted the lane he had. It just didn't seem like it was possible to make that pass from all my D in front. And it just seemed to find a way to go through everyone's skate.
Three guys.
Yeah. So,
But again, look
and
at your head as we were talking about.
yeah, exactly. And I think the biggest thing too is I knew he was there. So obviously you know, that's a play where you're obviously reaching and, there's really no chance for you to be perfectly in butterfly and let the puck hit you. But, you
All right, so you're on the PK. On the PK, guy moving down he moves it down the half wall to an offhanded shot. So we got Ehlers coming on the wall. You got a pretty good screen there, and I think that's Perreault. Yeah, it's Perreault in front. He's a weasel in front of the net. He's very good at tipping, but he's not that tall. So a higher stance, I can still be able to read. I don't have to go too straight-legged to see it. I don't really have to look around him. I can kind of keep a good knee bend and still be able to track the puck over him. He shoots it. So he does the crossover, so you lose it for half a second.
As he pulls it by that stick?
Yeah, as he pulls it by that stick. So now he's looking to get a stick on it. And there's a lot of moving parts. And when I originally watched this clip, I didn't really like the rebound I gave up. But when I'm tracking through a body, when he crosses in front of me, and then you have the stick in front trying to get a piece of it, that changed a lot of things. And you go from trying to make a smother save and smothering the rebound to just trying to get in front of it because you never really know what's going to happen. So it was a bad rebound. It was unfortunate, but was able to. Let's see here. Yeah. In terms of the NHL though, anything that hits you basically from probably say your sternum down when it's in your pants has to be smothered because the guys are just too good and the game's too fast to be leaving pucks and not killing plays. So. Yeah, I guess those are a couple excuses I have, but there's no excuses at this level. So I got lucky making a plant rotation save here, and it was more just yeah. Here it's just more laying out, doing a long body to the left, and just trying to make that glove as big as possible and take away net. So it was a lucky save, I could say. Yeah.
Lucky, okay, so wait, lucky, desperation, but what do you, like you said, long body, do you practice that? Are you trying to maintain glove? Like you see it too.
Yeah, I see him coming. I know he's a righty, and I know he's going to shoot it. So at that point, it's just kind of instinctual. It's about trying to get it.
This is going to become a breakaway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So New falls down, and this guy's picking up the puck from the neutral zone with a lot of speed. Step one is to come out, grab your ice, figure out what he is, righty, lefty. He's a lefty, so you got to take away that short side, be square, and you got to figure out where his momentum's going to take him. Oftentimes, guys can do the fake shot and they do the wrap, so you have to come out, be patient to where he gets close enough to you before you start that backup process, and you want to keep a good distance between you two. Otherwise, you open up a lot of net. So I'm a good, foot I'm pretty far outside the crease right now, especially because he's a lefty. My right leg is out there pretty far. All right, so now I like my depth here. I'm hoping that Noof can make a play. He can still bring it out and shoot. Let's see. Okay. So I choose, there's a big hole right there, but I can see that he's not technically in a shooting position. I kind of see that he wants to use his momentum and take it across. So I try to get that lead leg down. I try to get my right leg down as low as possible, seal the 5-hole as best I can. But right now I'm reading that he's going wide, and I'm just trying to match my momentum and trying to get some power going to the ladder.
Once he turns that stick plate over, is that your kind of sign that, hey, like that's a pull? You can see it kind of.
Yeah, so I know let's see here. So he's not going to shoot it there. He's getting a little disrupted by the defenseman, buys me a little time. But I also see, now it's a closed blade. If he wants to shoot it, his right elbow has to be a little bit lower, and his front hand has to be more open. So he's not shooting it. And then at this point, I know it's keep that stick tight, because so many guys use their speed going wide and just tuck it 5-hole. So keep that stick tight, which I kind of do. Yeah, I stay with it with the stick. And then at that point, it's just keeping your head down, keeping the tracking on it so that your body can follow your head and you can be on top of it. And was able to make a save and keep it 7-2.
Well, yeah, we can drop that out.
Okay.
And you didn't start that game.
I didn't start that game, no. So in pre-scout, we saw a lot of what Columbus used to do was, what a lot of teams do is even that side net front guy there who drops down.
We'll see it again.
Yeah. So yeah, as it comes down, a criticism of me in this play could be that right here I'm down, but this has happened a lot where 22 will shoot it, 21 can deflect it, 21 can wrap and shoot it. So in the power play in our system at this time, it was my responsibility is short side, and then I got big Harps coming on the back here. He's to get the pass on the other side, and then hopefully our top diamond forward can come down and take away the middle slot. So we all have our responsibilities in this, and for me, I like at the time like going overlap. I go overlap here on the outside, which just lets me steal the ice a little bit better. There's no hole for my skate for the puck to break through. That's just a little bit of a security thing. But when you go overlap, though, you don't have that post to push off of when he makes this pass. So that's a little bit difficult. I was able to just make let's see here. Eyes, yeah, was able to get
right edge.
Yeah, was able to get my eyes on it. Was able to not turn my shoulders too much, and I just got it with the left chest protector there. So that was more just a positional save, and those bang plays that happen so much. But sometimes you have to cater your play to the system that you're killing penalties with, and for us, those are our responsibilities. And someone's going to have a clean look on a power play if they work it right. So we were lucky to avoid that one.
And this is old school.
Yeah. So again, it's you got a lefty in a shooting position, not a great shooting position. Well, he's not in a great area to shoot, but he is a strong side, so he's got his left stick, able to still throw on that. So if you start cheating, guys can't surprise. So he throws in a somewhat of a saucer. You're out challenging, making sure that he doesn't have any thought of shooting. So if you're deep, maybe you're not square, he may throw it on net, but he sees you square. Now you take away his option. He doesn't want to shoot from there. It's not a great quality chance. Now you can get the retreat. So I should have some backwards motion here.
I can see you start that momentum, Bill.
Backwards motion, push across. At this point, you're playing the middle guy. I didn't realize that there was a wide guy. So the middle guy gets picked up. Now it's more of an crap moment. I felt like I was dead in the water because I pushed to the middle, and then it kept going, and then I picked up the guy late, so it was just throw something over there. I think he hit the post. But again, it was one of those things where if you do nothing, maybe he doesn't panic. Maybe he panicked when he saw the 2-pad stack. Who knows? But again,
Force him. Rather than you're caught, you might as well force him.
I was playing the guy middle drive because that's your first play. Is the middle drive.
So like in a situation like this, that's a hard position to be in. Him being a right-handed shot, he's in a very optimal position to shoot. We're on the penalty kill there, so I know that both of our guys are caught up high, and there's most likely going to be a seam. So he kind of gets himself in a position where he can shoot or pass. But I was able to, get a half decent push on it, and was able to cover up some ice.
A similar thing, just a guy coming in and getting a solo rush.
Yeah, this was, I don't remember if this was a neutral zone turnover or whatnot.
Let's see here again. Yeah, I mean, on this one, you can kind of tell he's like it's Dutchy again, right? So he's got a lot of skill. He's got a good shot.
Sometimes you obviously you want to win and stuff, but goalies put a lot of pressure on themselves to win in shootout. But it's to me, you lose in shootout or win. I don't think you should look at your game differently. I think it's a different part of the game that maybe you, as a young goalie, you need to get better at or not. But for me, I've never been a great shootout goalie. I mean, I don't know what are my stats overall. I think this year I worked a lot last summer to get better. I think I had a better percentage this year for sure. But it's, to me, shootout, it's all about being patient and obviously knowing if it's a righty or lefty. And there's guys that have tendency, but I think if you keep your head down and you're as patient as possible, shooters they don't have much net either, so you got to put yourself in their shoes and I think if you don't make that first move that they want you to make, then they're a little confused in their head too. So it's a two-way battle. So I think you just got to be the stronger one.
So is it you against their shooters and you're just playing your own game? Do you have a little bit of a competitive, it's me against the other goalie as you're going through this? How do you approach it?
No, it's me against the other players. I can't really control what the other goalie's doing. So for me, it's just me and him, the shooter, and that's it. You go one by one, you get score, you flush it out. You save it, you flush it out. It's one by one.
So if we could just rewind to just before this moment we have on the screen here now, they're scraping the ice. The shootout's about to come. Do you go to the bench and are you talking to your partner, in this case, Jimmy?
No, I just kind of do what I do, during intermission when we stay on the ice, when they go through
the TV timeouts.
TV timeout, yeah. Little water, Gatorade, and right back in the net.
And have you done a pre-scout? Have you talked to your coach before the game about what might happen?
Not really. I mean, when you're in the league for a long time, obviously there might be a pre-scout in the room for guys that might be in the shootout if we end up going. So if they've done a few moves that they've repeatedly done, then obviously I'll know. But for some reason this year, that's coming from my goalie coach, but it seemed that they were trying to beat me on my glove side a lot in the shootout, which we didn't know why, because my record on the glove side was higher than maybe my blocker side. So, but yeah, it just seemed, I think in this one too, they all went to the glove side.
Well, let's see now. So this all starts with you guys shooting. Are you watching?
Yeah, I'm watching, and usually I don't.
So, actually, this is going back to the day before. So it starts off with Olsen having the puck here, and he scored the night we played the day before, and Wedgie played, and Wedgie played a really good game. But Olsen actually scored a goal from the exact same spot, shooting short side last game. So I'm like, hey, just be careful because he's a known shooter. So I already have that kind of in my mindset for the game. So I'm kind of playing the short side really hard here because I know that well, both those two guys are on the far side, and he scored last night shooting short side. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to play the short side. Our defenseman makes a good block on the play. And I just recovered to the corner. And once again, I'm trying to cut my ice in half here. So I can see that the majority of the threats are on this side, but I know that Eichel is open for a 1T up top there. So I'm kind of aware. So you can see my skate is not quite at the full angle. I'm still giving myself a little bit of a chance to get across if Eichel gets the puck. Puck goes back to the top.
Now you got Rice. You got Rice to line. Oh, I can't even say his name. The big guy,
in front. Yeah,
Wrist to line and in front. That's a big body.
He's a really big body. He's 6'6". He actually scores later in the game, and net front guy. They started putting him net front.
We weren't talking about that. I didn't include that in the clips, Eric. You don't have to talk about the ones that went in, buddy.
Yeah, I know, but I'm always thinking about the whole game.
Okay.
So it goes to the top here, and they have two guys flanked for 1T side. I know that he's probably not going to go to the hole one time because he's so close, and I can see Eichel's actually pretty far away. So I have more time to get across than a lot of people would think, just because it's a long pass. I mean, he's making the pass from, but once again, I like to cut the ice in half. So I know that he's passing on that side of the ice over to that side. So it's going to be it's not like a killer threat for speed to get across. It's more just making sure that I gain the right angle, because that's a big push. I'm actually changing almost three angle changes, 3 zones of angle change there. So I'm going from almost between the blue line and the middle, to the middle line, to the almost the line exactly on the middle of the net to the blue line. So I'm making a big angle change, but I know I have time to do it. So it's really important for me to just get my angle, see the stick blade once again, and get as much debris as I can. And it actually hits off my stick, I think, and then off my arm, and I glove it. So I just controlled the rebound as best I could there. For myself, I'm pretty confident in my reverse VH. I've actually tried to limit it a little bit more because I was getting a little bit too comfortable being in it. I've kind of set guidelines for myself. I try and stay only in it when it's below the dot and below I try and draw lines almost from the dots down to the boards, dot down to the boards, and almost as close to going as I can, limit as much time as I'm in. So now I'm still pretty comfortable in it. And actually, it was something that I was talking about a little bit at camp with Jets camp with Flats and Rick about how I play behind the net. For myself, I'm always trying to maintain vision and see the puck first. And I'm always trying to look kind of like below my elbows almost per se, because I'm trying to stay where it's bringing my core around, bringing my torso around. So I'm always trying to gain angle on the play as well. I don't want to stay flat and just give the guy an easy wrap or an easy opportunity to get around. And I mean, once again, like I've said in the other clips, it's all about maintaining vision on the puck and seeing it. I mean, if you can see the puck and see the play happening, it's going to make it a lot quicker. If I can see the stick blade, it's just a lot easier to do. So as soon as I come across, I get vision again. And I should probably start getting up now because it's going away from my reverse VH area. And I do it. Could have maybe done a little quicker, a little more urgent, but I mean, we're going in slow motion, I guess, too.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. And then as it goes back down again, I'm trying to take looks. So I took a little look to see the scan the other ice, but I can see that I got 4 guys in the corner here. So my threats are mostly on the strong side. I'm also trying to split my ice in half. The more I split my ice in half, the easier and the slower the game is, because you just have a lot less room to cover. And then once again, you can see the way I play the puck in that as I try and maintain vision for as long as I can. So I know I've switched my eyes to go around my blocker, but I've stayed on my glove side post just because I feel like my threat was still kind of on the strong side, because it was all the guys were on that side. But as the guy started moving over, he's kind of not in a threat area because the guy couldn't make that pass. And then puck comes back over, get my vision once again on it. I actually stay a little flat. I should try and bring that backside skate out a little bit, and that causes me to have to get up instead of actually just do a rotate up and push. So I have to kind of stand up to get off the post because I didn't gain any angle off the original play. But I get to the top of my crease, which I like, stay high and make a good controlled cradle save.
And here it is again. Just again, like it, he makes like a good, like you said, a good easy control cradle save. But there's still guys in your line of sight here that you're having to deal with. Not terrible, but even your own guy.
It's funny because the NHL, the pro hockey game's all about traffic and seeing around traffic. It's the biggest thing is picking up pucks. And what I like a lot about that save is if you go back a little bit.
Yep. Say when.
Go to the shots halfway to the net. So go forward. And you can stop it now. That puck's halfway to the net, and I've barely reacted at all. That's a sign that I'm waiting patiently till the puck to come to me. And that's one of the keys I look for if I'm having a good game or bad game. If I'm not playing as well, I'm going to be pushing to the ice as fast as I can and trying to almost react. But I'm letting the puck come to me, staying high, and just, I know that guy's kind of gone through, but I'm still waiting to see if that guy's getting a puck if he's getting a stick on the puck to redirect it at all. Because guys in the NHL are so good at tipping pucks and changing, just that kind of stuff makes a big deal. And if I'm reacting too quick, per se, and just dropping off shot, then I'm going to miss that play, miss that chance to be able to react to that tip. So for me, I'm just trying to stay as patient as I can, wait as long as I can, and just let that puck come to me for as long as I possibly can until I start reacting.
Makes it look easy, but it's not quite that simple.
That one was.
Backdoor, what a save by Comrie. Camper along the boards, in front, what a stop. A second spectacular save from Comrie. Oh, sensational. Oh, a showstopper from Eric Comrie.
They've got Hagel sprung in a big save by Comrie. Rebound, and he's got that one too. Back over for Hagel. He leads into a pass for Nielsen. Oh, what a save by Eric Comrie. That's intercepted round to the front of the net. Great save, Comrie. Rebound, and oh my goodness, Eric Comrie.
Yeah, it's pretty 2-on-1 with the back checker, obviously from the neutral zone. Any goalie that's played at our level, you do 2-on-1 with back checks. It seems like, every day in practice. Obviously it happens. It's one of the more common scoring chances, I guess I'd say. And so here it's just all about you're trusting your D-men. We have a good system. Everyone plays things a little bit differently, but our goalies and D we're on the same page in LA that when this was happening, we pretty much knew what was going on. Again, I think that's Kopi on the back check who's giving enough pressure where they're going to have to make a play. They're not going to be able to just stop and go tic-tac, which helps. And I think the D-men's starting to kind of read that Kopi's been back far enough that passing lane is starting to be taken off. And my job here is the shooter's my guy. The guy with the puck is my guy. And that's why, obviously you can't 100% know that the pass isn't going backdoor. But if you have enough trust in your D-men and the people around you, you focus on that puck. And again, feet are set, holding my edges, just like I said, in case that puck does become passed across, you can explode off that edge. But other than that, it's finding your depth, holding it, and the old cliche, make him make the first move, right? Like I'm just waiting for him to do something here, and obviously not a ton of movement, like a little bit
my edges pushing outwards just to get ready to go down. Once he gets kind of into that hash mark area, you have to be able to hold. It's not like a drop, right? You're holding your edges but sinking your body down to be able to get down to the ice and seal a little bit quicker. And yeah, again, just trying to read that release. And
this is a great angle. Yeah, this is a great angle here.
Yeah. So like here, like I start, the stance is kind of narrow to start. Something that I've been working on. Just feel like it lets me hold edges that little bit longer. And then obviously as he comes in, it widens out, but again, without losing my edges, just kind of sinking down into the edges a little bit more here. Again, like I feel like I can get pretty far down to the ice without actually losing my edge. If there's one thing here, like I could nitpick with myself, it looks like I dropped my chest a little bit. I'd like to see my chest a little bit more upright. It's a nitpick. I mean, he's getting in pretty tight. And then, yeah, like the glove positioning, I've always been a kind of hold it over the top guy. I just feel more natural, and it's just a natural way for me to stop pucks. And, people have their own reasons for their own glove positions. The way I see it, like I like to play a little bit more out on top of my crease. And to me, when I'm holding my glove position there, it just allows me to know that you have to make a perfect shot above that glove or above my shoulder past my ear for it to go in high. Otherwise, you're probably going to have to put it just over my pad. And then obviously rotating the glove down becomes the save that I have to make. But by holding my glove there and reading the release, I really don't, kind of just buries it right into the glove and try to make it look simple. That's what I'm trying to do here. Just try to make a relatively tough save look as simple as possible.
The other thing about hand positioning, Troy, is we see it a little better from this angle, like how much out in front they are. They're not caught behind you. How key is that?
Yeah, so I'm a big believer in having my hands out in front of me. I like to have active hands. I would consider my hands one of my strengths. So having it out in front of me, not only does it cut down angle, like I said, especially like on those, like if he did go over my pad, like I'm cutting down enough angle where I don't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to hit me in the webbing if he does shoot it there. And it just allows me to track the puck, right? Where you can see things a lot better when they're in front of you than if they're out to your sides. Another thing it does is if your hands are out in front of you, you're in a more athletic position. If you get them tucked behind you, it becomes harder to move your hands. I mean, just put your hands to your side and you like feel that in your shoulder blades, right? It becomes hard to move. So for me, having my hands out front, ready to react and be active, that's kind of a staple of my game.
Nice. Like you said, that's a pretty tough save that you make look easy.
That's the goal. Yeah. I mean, obviously he makes a great play coming across the line through some traffic. And right about that point, when he kind of gets past the D, he's coming in with enough speed that chances are, when he takes that look up, Kopi's kind of back checking. There's enough of back pressure where you feel like he's not going to have a ton of time to do much but shoot. And at that point, it's just trusting that you've got enough depth and that you're on your angle and reading, reacting, making a save. Obviously, the D-man's right there, so he's not going to be able to cut across the middle on you. So, yeah, try to hold your edge as long as possible. Keep that depth. Not give away anything that you don't need to give away. Him being a righty, you kind of, not necessarily a low angle or anything like that, but him being a righty with a D-man coming across at him like that, there's a little bit, it's one of those things, I don't think it's going through my head necessarily in that moment, but it seems like guys are going to try to go short side there because there's less traffic for them to shoot through with the D-man cutting across on him. So I think that's kind of like one of those goalie things. Like, it's not going through my head at that moment, but it's just kind of like an innate thing after seeing plays like that happen over and over. So yeah, my whole thing there was just try to keep your edges as long as possible, read the release, and know that you're not giving away much net.
Is that a sign when you're feeling good, when you're that patient on the edges, you're able to hold like that, like you stay on this puck all the way through?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think if you're feeling good, like if you're able to hold your edges like through the release, not drop early, that's one sign that yeah, you're feeling it and you're tracking the puck well. And yeah, I think a lot of it, you know, I do have the habit of like my I like to say, like, when I'm playing well, I have quiet feet, right? And when things tend to go a little haywire, either I'm a little too jacked up or you know, not trusting myself, that's when you might see a little bit more drift and stuff like that, like drift out into the play. But I think because the way that rush occurred, I was able to hold my ground, just have my feet set, and trust that if he did make a play left or right, that I still have my edges and I'm not letting them slide out from under me. So just hold the edges and track the puck.
So this is the, you know, the right-handed shot, bad angle. The funny thing was, I wasn't even on my post for it. I just felt like you know, when he gets so far out there, he's probably just gonna at least try to rip it short side cheese, and it's, you know, easy to cover. You got to be careful, obviously, because you can see the 5 holes exposed a little bit here. But I kind of pushed into it a little bit, and it's funny. I go to pass the puck back to our guy here because it was kind of a little bit out of reach. I didn't want to go diving for it and get in trouble. And it goes right past him, and then they spend another 10 seconds in our end.
So you just trust your coverage in that situation, even though it's not.
I just like look where I am. I'm not even on the post. Like, as long as he doesn't go 5 hole, there should be nowhere to go. Like, I'm square to it. He's, you know, he's bottom of the circle. I'm on like almost at the top of my crease at that angle.
Yeah.
And you know, I kind of waited and then pushed into it. Like I said, you know, I want to have my glove up a little earlier there, but you know, that 5 hole is really what you gotta be careful of. But then I saw the release was coming up, but
okay.
Get a block.
I was going to ask you, if he winds up for this one before the block, like, this is one of the things we talk a lot with kids about on these, in terms of how do you pick lanes, dude? How do you?
Well, it's all like I like to hold. I mean, this is kind of in the middle of the ice, so it's not really, doesn't really work for this. But you can see I'm looking past my guy. Their guy's not doing a great job in front of being in my eyes. I'm fortunate, being as tall as I am, that sometimes I can stand and look over the guy's shoulder, so there's not really a screen. As a puck, I always like, if the puck's going from middle to the boards on either side, I'll try to always look on the, if it makes sense to look on the inside, hold your sight line in the middle of the net, because it's easier if you hold that middle of the net, you know, naturally, especially if there's a little bit of pressure. Say this righty walks toward the boards, he's naturally going to sling it back toward the middle of the net, because he's going to try. And then, so you have that sight line, and you're not going to lose your sight. And then if he shoots short side, well, that's an easier save. That's kind of where your natural momentum is going anyway. So if you do happen to lose, you know, if you shoot short side and you have to lose sight of it for a second as you're going to it, you're less exposed going that way to the short side than you are if you go too early and look short side. Then, you know, if you lose it coming back to the middle of the net, there's a lot more exposure there. And you're also putting yourself in position to be screened on a pass if he whips it across or something.
Okay. So after the shot's blocked, let's roll out.
I don't know if they get another shot here. Do they? They haven't called this is the delayed penalty.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
This isn't the power play yet.
Yeah.
So like here, so I'm going to try to hold. If you go back for a sec,
yeah.
It's like this is what I was talking about, where this guy gets it. He doesn't shoot it, obviously, but
right.
The way that they play. So he gets this puck. If he were to throw this at the net, I'm going to switch over right now to look on the inside, to look on the side of the middle of the net.
Okay.
Over the guy's right shoulder, and then obviously, so then if he shoots it, I'm not going to be. It was what we just talked about with that short side push being easy. He doesn't shoot it, but I just showing how I switched. That guy came in my vision, and I just popped on the other side of it, so I was looking.
And that's an easier, yeah. Whereas if you come across early and he does shoot, you got to come back into the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. So I'm just looking. And actually, this, you know what? I did leave this in here for a reason, because even before we get to the power play, this is a pretty, again, we talk about goalies becoming passive and waiting, and not being aggressive. But here's a pretty good use of the stick.
Yeah, I mean, he's tight to me, so you could see that he has some space to walk out. So, I think it's always good. You never want to I was pretty aggressive here because I knew I could get him. He was close to me. You always just, anytime you're being aggressive and reaching, you just want to be careful that you don't, if you do miss, if I miss with my hand there, I don't want my body to be, I don't want to be swinging at him so hard that if I miss I have no chance of making the save. You always want to be aggressive with your stick and get it in guys' way so it's not easy for him. But, you don't want to overswing. And I do go pretty hard at him here, but I was pretty confident I could get it. But see, I'm still in a spot there where if I miss that, I'm still in a position to go to have my blocker where it needs to be. If I do miss that, I don't get overextended across my body. See, I did right there. And then if I were to miss that, I'm still in a position to go back across there.
Yeah, you're still in balance. You're still in your net. You're not swinging wildly outside of you. The stick comes out, but you're in control.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, after all that, we've got the power play and all
right. So here's what I'm talking about, where you can. Well, no, actually, he hasn't passed this one yet.
So that you're looking on the inside there.
Yeah. So that was like I said, looking on. Always, it doesn't always work, but if you can look on that, because I actually I'm looking on the other side and make the blocker save on the other side of his body. But the most important thing is just having that sight line, and then making sure you're watching. It's okay. You're better to be leaning this way and watching where the puck goes than getting centered early and getting yourself screened. So I'll make the save with my blocker, and I never obviously it was on the other side of his body, but as long as you get a sight line on where it's going before.
Well, and if you're looking middle and he goes short side like that, there's not a lot of space there.
No, it's easy. If you're going to be screened on something, you gotta pick your, what would you rather be screened on? You get screened on in the far side. Like if you're leaning and it's going far side, I mean, you're asking for trouble.
So this goes across. Is there anything at this point you're thinking or you're setting up, or?
No, I mean, it's kind of you can see he's not a shooting threat, but I did lose the pass for a second through Burnsy there. And I was able to get over on my feet. I like to get over. So that gave me an opportunity to square up, and then I was able to get some depth. And I don't I don't think there's a ton of situations where you want to be kind of charging out like that. Just because you can see in the post save, it's good. I got over there on my feet, and now I want to gain some depth, and I got to get my hand off my side there. That's coming up now, but you'll see. So since I'm moving forward, first it's a little tougher to control the rebound, and then obviously you're getting yourself in a little bit of trouble with that forward slide. But at the same time, when it's a grade A, so, it's more important to make the save than worry about being in control and digging it out of your net. So this is a similar play. I think I come across on my knees on this one. And reason being is I don't do a good job here of switching, but in this scenario at first, so I'd rather be looking on the other side of them. And this is, for one reason, you can see that far side is a threat. Not necessarily because our guy's doing a good job blocking here, but it also puts you in a worse spot. Now that pass does come across, and first of all, you're leaning, so you can see I have no choice but to slide into this one just because I was looking so hard on that short side. So like I said, I like coming across on my feet if possible, but in this scenario, because I was trying to go around the screen and was on the short side, I came over on my knees. And again, this is why I said it's not ideal to be sliding forward, because you almost get in trouble on the rebound here. But see, this is, you get, when you lean that way, you have no choice but to lose this sight of this pass at some point, which is obviously right now, and I know it's going there. But that's why it's tougher to get over on your feet. So I'm coming in a slide here, and I start to get up. Then he tries to go short side high.
And there's that momentum.
And then I'd probably twisting a little too much there. This is a lot of bodies in the crease coming back here. But like I said,
no save.
More important to make the save than, these are good chances. So you just, you got to go with it. And I like to be in control as much as I can, but sometimes you're just going to play.
Game doesn't always let us be in control.
Yeah. They pop one to Silverberg here.
Yeah.
He's got such a sneaky shot.
Oh.
The release is just crazy on it. It's just really hard to read.
It's coming downhill on this one too.
Yeah, and he shoots, like when he shoots that high glove shot, it just doesn't, like the way it releases just doesn't feel like it's a high glove shot.
So as this is coming down, are you this is well into a kill.
Yeah, so my main concern right now, I'm thinking about Henrique more than anything. He's got pressure. He's not going to shoot that power play. So I'm more thinking about Henrique right now.
Cal's on the backhand, so you're not worried about him so much?
No, I'm not worried about him at all. I mean, he's not, and it's power play. He's not going to shovel that on me on a power play. Like he wouldn't be on the power play if that was his choice. So then I got a little stuck on the post, and then here is just getting as much ice as you can without, like I said, you don't want to come flying out at him, because then it's hard. Like I get a little bit of shoulder lean into that. And if you're coming flying out, and then I'm able to get back to the post. So you want to gain as much depth as you can, but also, in control. So I got a little bit, but I'm not, see, I'm set right now. So I'm not coming running out at him and then getting out of the way. That gives me a chance to take it off the shoulder.
But reacting to it, it's not just hitting you. You can see you shift and lean, subtle as it is. You're still on that puck.
Yeah, and then if you come flying forward to want to play like that, it almost guarantees you're going to lock your arms, and you go down. They're just going to suck into your side. So those can beat you. I mean, it's like that. You saw that hit me. It could just be a subtle. It could be 1 inch of movement into it that is the difference of it going grazing your jersey and going in or going out.
This may be the longest one sequence pro reads I've ever done.
Still 15:45 left in the first. So this was a screen where it just hits me in the chest to begin with, because this is one where
Should I go back a
that's
bit?
what I'm talking about, that short side shot. Go back a little bit. So this is what I'm talking about, where since I have my sight line, when this goes up to the point, I get my sight line on the inside quickly. So I'm looking over his right shoulder in the middle of the net. And so when he does shoot short side, this is an easier, less dangerous motion. And I know it's coming there and I have to lose it, but you just push over, and that actually, I think, hits me in the chest. It's kind of hard to see, but, and then I kind of got tangled up a little bit here. And
I think there's one more big save coming up. The other thing too is in an era where I watch a lot of guys, as soon as that puck's behind the net, boom, they got both. They got a skate on each post, double seal, all the new terminology. How much do you hold your feet on post play?
always, unless I'm reading a wraparound, for two reasons. One, I just like being on my edges more. Two, I'm not flexible enough to do what those guys do. It just doesn't work for me. I can do it, but I'm not even remotely powerful if I'm going to put myself in that position. It's just not I just feel better on my blades, and for me, as long as I'm not getting scored on those plays, or something's happening, consistently that's causing me a need to change that post play, I always like to be on my feet, unless I'm reading a wraparound or a quick short side out.
Okay, so here we go. Here's another one. We got a guy right in front of you.
Yeah.
To the point, sort of off to one side, and you're picking a lane.
So this one, I'm looking I tried to get to one side. Well, see, I'm looking, and then I tried to cheat to that middle right as he passed it, which probably put me in a bad spot. But now I got to get on the other side of it. I think this goes to Silverberg again. See, now I switched over, whenever possible, I want to get over to that middle. So you can see, obviously he moves a little further than he probably should have, but it allows me to get leaned right over to that middle. I think this ends up going to Silverberg right here. And, heart rate was a little high by the time that one got to me, but that was good. That was a good, that's kind of my game right there. That last one it goes to Henrique. It's a push and a stop. It goes to Silverberg here. It's a shuffle and set. I'm not, necessarily top of my crease, but my feet aren't moving, and I'm just waiting for it. And allows you to be kind of be a lot more free.
Yeah, so once the puck kind of goes out here, I could tell that those two were poaching. And right when Yamamoto gets the puck and turns the corner, I could kind of obviously out of my peripheral see that.
Yeah, so it's, it looks like we're going to get, we should be out of the zone. And next thing you know, things happen. Teams back check hard, make a mistake. Puck hits a stick or a bad ice, whatever it is. You always got to be ready. And, as you see, Kane's got it right there on a stick, and he has options, but at the same time, it's Patrick Kane. I played against the guy numerous times, and he's probably had a few hundred shots on me by now already over my career. And I think it's just an understanding of players, an understanding of who you're playing against, sort of what's going on. He's very deceptive, and that's why he's so good. He doesn't have a missile like some guys do, but his shot is very deceptive, and he can pick corners without speed, with more accuracy and deception. So I knew he was going to shoot there. When you tend to see on that side, he likes to try to go high glove, but he tried to beat me 5-hole there. So it's I rarely use the one knee down, the old VH type thing. I really depend again on who's shooting, the hand, where the puck is, And generally, if I do it, it's from that side of the ice because it just makes sense because you're covering the short side, especially when